Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's quick recap because the USA is playing. It is 4:02 and the market started off strong. First day of the new month, first day of the new quarter, new flows put to work. Technically, a lot to like. Let's go right to the charts. Here's a chart of the SPX. Look at this nice consolidation that happened between March and May. Broke out above 902. That was your spot to get heavily long. Boom, little bit of rest. Let the 8-day catch up. Another push. Oh my goodness, came back in. What do? We held the 21-day. Then went sideways, broke out again. And then I know this was one of those days to take notice, a day that you could have cleaned up positions. And if you were watching the virtual trade floor, a lot of us took off positions right here, right? We engulfed 3 days, took off the 8-day, watched to see if this accelerated trend would be broken. What happened? Next day got negated. Short off the brain, look opportunistic, and then from there, boom. Okay, so with that being said, we closed at highs. You'll see the newspapers. Hopefully you've been long and in names, because names have been moving. There's been a lot going on if you're not just looking for a top and following the wrong people on Twitter who probably don't even trade. Anyway, you look at some other ETFs real quick. You know, the technology arena has been leading the way, hugging the 8-day for so long, a little extended here, but a lot to like. Here is your quick little reversal right here that changed the landscape, or you could have waited till here when it broke the descending channel and broke above resistance. Lots of areas for adjustments. Now let's just go into some stocks. Google, talked about it today. Look at that. Lots of moves here in Google. Here was your descending channel. Here's when it broke above resistance. Here's when it consolidated again. Nice little double bottom right there. And then boom, little bull flag continuation. Another nice trade there if you were there. Amazon woke up today. Not sure what it leads to. It's been out of play, at a decision point. All these things I go over with if-then statements in my morning note. Hopefully you read it. This is when it woke up. This is when Goldman Sachs upgraded it. Then all of a sudden out of play for a little while. What did it do? It held 320. Day one. Question is, can you get some follow through? If it wants to, this is your next area. We shall see. Still a laggard, but in the game today. Netflix, upgraded by Goldman Sachs. Look at that. Boom. Netflix is the situation that led high beta right here. You guys remember this? Flashback, boom, broke above 350, had a little move, bull flag, and then continuation. Now listen, if you saw this pattern here, okay, before today, little topping tail. A lot of people who just think Netflix is overvalued, probably shorting it. This was your first little technical signal. Maybe they marked it up, wasn't strong enough, so there were some people short. So my advice today was use the prior high as your pivot. Why? Because once a stock takes out a prior high, 458, there's really no more resistance. So if you're rolling up shorts and you've been doing it, you probably blew up your account unless you just have a typewriter and put out overvalued notes, which doesn't get anyone anywhere. Or if you were trading and unfortunately caught, you could have saved your money right here. Okay, 458, boom, gap and go. If you were waiting for a trade to the long side, because you know what, it's been hugging the 8-day, and you didn't have it, you could have been just as pissed if you were caught short, and then you had a quick gap and go. You wrote down hopefully 458. You look at the 5-minute chart, it gapped up, okay, didn't have much time, but if you were short and you used 458, here was your little spot to maybe get long, and you still could have made good money, or covered your short and saved yourself another 15 points. You even got an extra trade in the afternoon after it consolidated all day long. So a lot to like there in Netflix if you're not just looking at the valuation and you're trading in the multiple time frames. As far as Facebook, not the greatest trading stock, still trending, still looks good, still somewhat on its way. This is when it held support. We've gone over this many times. Still closed okay, on its way to perhaps 70-ish. Twitter's been a rock star. We talked about this thing after it broke this 35 right here. It's been trending ever since. Little topping tail, so a lot of people might have sold. Doesn't mean it's a short. So we'll see what happens next. Talked about WB again. Remember, we tried WB right here. Okay, we put it on the radar and said, okay, you know what, maybe it's ready to go. Gave you a move, boom, boom, and then it wasn't ready. Came back in, okay, regrouped. Now it's trying again. Closed pretty well. It's on my radar. I am long this, as well as some other things on my disclosure. Next buy area is if bigger volume comes in and it clears 22. First actual spot is what, 2168. Then you have 22. Let's see if there was any volume today, because this thing needs volume for it to go. Basic studies, volume, okay. Not a heck of a lot of volume, but more volume than it's had in these prior few sessions. So it tried here with volume, and then volume died. Volume's going to need to build in order to get above this little area. Triple D and those guys, listen, there's times to be in it and there's times not to be in it. And if, I don't know exactly when Sperling's play of the day was, but I think it was somewhere in here. Okay, and then it stretched on some news that it canceled a conference, and you could have made money both ways, but now it's a little loose. Same thing goes for some of these others. Okay, so that's why I asked, wow, I remember tweeting about it, and I think I was involved in it all the way here, or maybe even here. And then look what happens there. So that's why sometimes you're better to be a swing trader. You buy it, and if it doesn't break a key moving average, you stay with it, and you could have got paid big time. Now it's well off the highs, and it's probably a little sloppy. GPRO, what a move. GPRO continues, my goodness gracious, okay? First of all, we talk about the art of the first day. Art of the first day, you go back to here, if you could even get there. Okay, 29.65 was where that opening print was, okay, right here. So not only did people in the deal make money, but you could have been a day trader, bought 29.65, had a nice move, and then all of a sudden, you wrote down the previous high, and then you had another move, and now it's just simply out of control. Okay, I shorted it once or twice today. I think I broke even. There is a borrow at some places, and now we'll see what happens tomorrow. Don't just short it blindly. Try and do a level versus a level, but I also wouldn't chase it. Tomorrow we'll see what happens with this pivot. If it trades above 49.90, they're going to start pricing some options. So maybe they want to bag some people. But I don't know. All I know is big time volume. Wow. Could have hurt a lot of people, and you also could have made a lot of money if you bought that day and said, I'm just going to give it and let it go, and there you go. You already have a double in 4 days. Out of the banks, Bank of America had a nice move today. Cleaner than some of the others. Okay, it's still not the best thing out there. It broke the 21-day right here. It had a false breakout there. That's when it came off of my A+ status, and now I am in Bank of America, and it's trying to clear a descending channel. And if we get some positive ADP numbers tomorrow, or if, it's just some better economic news, there was a little volume today. Perhaps it continues. 16 is next, perhaps. JP Morgan, is set up. It's got to get above 58 for it to continue. GLD, look at that bull flag breakout here. No continuation today. Maybe, I think it held in pretty well for the way the market was, so we'll see. Silver also hanging around a little bit. We'll see if that can continue. I would trade it versus 2033. And that's really about it. It's 4/11. We got the start of a new quarter, a new month. They put some money to work because things didn't come in. Technically, we've gone over the pivots. Hopefully, you've made adjustments along the way. Lots of things to like in this market. If you're looking for setups, there's been a ton of them. I'm sure there'll be more tomorrow. If you're not using your resources, you better sign up. Sign up for Off the Charts because we come up with great patterns almost nightly. If you're not a member of the Redler All Access Note, where I give my basic game plan each morning with about 20 stocks and potential if-thens that I'm going to be looking at to make a living with, or the VTF, which you could see positions come off, come down, listen to a lot of smart people out there that have been trading a long time talk about what they're seeing, not just me or Mark or Mike Lee or whomever or Rich. Because we have a lot of eyeballs out there and a lot of good traders, and our community is getting stronger and stronger, and hopefully you're benefiting from it. Go USA. Have a great afternoon.